There's something about the magical realism. When we read this kind of literature, it gets inside our minds. The way the sentences are phrased, the kind of vocabulary is used, the kind of imagery is portrayed in these stories. It's a wonderful experience. And you would notice that these books, based on the magical realism genre, they earn a lot of prizes, particularly Booker prizes. For example, Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie has won Booker of the Booker and the Booker Prize itself when it first came out. Similarly, the book I'm going to talk about today is called The Famished Road by Ben Okri. It's a trilogy, and you can sense through these stories that the writer is bringing some kind of African folk culture, the traditions, the magical stories to you. But as I said, there is something about this magical realism. As you read it, you get a very real sense of the magic that has been described in the story. And I'm not going to give you any spoilers, not going to tell you anything about the story. But I'm just going to paint the picture the author paints for you. The first few pages of the book, how the book unfolds, and how you enter the world of magical realism painted by Ben Okri. Let's start. In the beginning, there was a river. The river became a road, and the road branched out to the whole world. And because the road was once a river, it was always hungry. In that land of beginnings, spirits mingled with the unborn. We could assume numerous forms. Many of us were birds. We knew no boundaries. There was much feasting, playing, and sorrowing. We feasted much because of the beautiful terrors of eternity. We played much because we were free. And we sorrowed much because there were always those amongst us who had just returned from the world of the living. They had returned inconsolable for all the love they had left behind, all the suffering they had not redeemed, all that they had not understood, and for all that they had barely begun to learn before they were drawn back to the land of origins. There was not one amongst us who looked forward to being born. We disliked the rigors of existence, the unfulfilled longings, the enshrined injustices of the world, the labyrinths of love, the ignorance of parents, the facts of dying, and the amazing indifference of the living in the midst of the simple beauties of the universe. We feared the heartlessness of human beings, all of whom are born blind, few of whom ever learn to see. Our king was a wonderful personage who sometimes appeared in the form of a great cat. He had a red beard and eyes of greenish sapphire. He had been born uncountable times and was a legend in all worlds, known by 100 different names. It never mattered into what circumstances he was born. He always lived the most extraordinary of lives. One could pore over the great invisible books of lifetimes and recognize his genius through the recorded and unrecorded ages. Sometimes a man, sometimes a woman, he wrought incomparable achievements from every life. If there is anything common to all of his lives, the essence of his genius, It might well be the love of transformation and the transformation of love into higher realities.